Hey, and welcome to this Blasphemous OST reaction live event. So tonight we are gonna listen in to the Blasphemous original soundtrack, and I guess we're also celebrating the release of the 4-box LP with the soundtrack from Blasphemous. I think it was released around the early January. So say hi in the chat, and we're gonna enjoy this new soundtrack. And I actually have no idea what to expect from this soundtrack, but it's gonna be fun. I know a lot of you people have been waiting for this soundtrack, for the reaction on this soundtrack. I've seen a lot of comments asking for this soundtrack, so here we are. Say hi in the chat, let me know where you're from, and if you played Blasphemous. In tradition, we're beginning the live stream with one of my own tracks. This is Chambers of Admantius. To get the vibe going. Did any of you buy the soundtrack with the 4-box set of the Blasphemous soundtrack? Yeah, hi Julia, hi Mr. Roboto, Serial, hi there. Thanks Julia for reminding me of the mic. Right, so we will get going with the first track of Blasphemous. And if you want to check out the track list I'm going after, you have the link in the chat box. Maybe it's on the left side, right side. So we'll begin with the track Tu Tormento. Spanish? It definitely sounds very dramatic and full of suspense in some way. It's not like frightening, but it's a little bit towards that kind of maybe sorrowful with that falling bass or falling chords. And very dramatic also with that intense, I guess it's some kind of guitar. Very distorted guitar. So it apparently, Dame Tu Tormento means give me your torment. And yeah, definitely sounds like tormenting. And also with that like military snare and that ongoing pulse, it almost sounds like a preparation to some kind of war. Or I also get a little bit of vibe from like Scotland with bagpipe kind of sound. So definitely reminds me of some kind of like preparation to war or something. Some holy war or something. Yeah, that was the Dame Tu Tormento. Give me your torment. Definitely sounds like some kind of grief and sorrow, or a preparation to war or something. I get that kind of vibe from this track. Is this the track that's played in the menu? Or do they have some other kind of menu theme in Blasphemous? Let me know. A love song. Yeah, I only heard one track so far. But sounds very grieving, sorrowful at the moment. This first track, Dame Tu Tormento. Let's continue with the next one, La Muerte de los Relinchos. Yeah, you're gonna laugh at my Spanish here. I guess it's Spanish. Great, thanks for sharing some context, Mr. Roboto. The Game Kitchen is the studio that made Blasphemous. It's based in Sevilla, Spain. The game is heavily inspired in Catholic Gothic iconography and themes. It's a really cool, like a droning, maybe a bit provocative, but it also feels it's some kind of sadness in this Q2. Get that kind of vibe from this droning. It's also quite lamenting, I feel. I get the kind of vibe from this. Indeed, it sounds a little bit like holy in some sort, in some ways. But also sorrowful. It's a very like nerving character when you have these really like rapidly played strings and I guess they're using like some kind of Spanish instruments in there. I have a little bit hard to pinpoint exactly what kind of instruments they're using, but it does sound like some kind of guitar-like instrument and obviously some kind of synth for that bass drone. But it really gives a sound of despair, I think. Quite intriguing. So next track is Tierras de Azafrán. Blazers, hi there, evening, how are you? Everything's good here. We're diving into a Blasphemous soundtrack. And basically the only thing I know about this game is that it's some kind of Metroidvania. I've heard people compare it to like a Souls-like Metroidvania. But I've not played it yet myself. But we'll see if I get intrigued by the soundtrack. It might draw me in to play the game also. That usually happens when we have these reaction shows. Next up, Tierras de Azafrán. The intro here definitely reminds me of a Diablo 2 soundtrack. Just a kind of almost random, like, rubato strumming. Is that like some kind of a slow flamenco of sorts? Lands of Saffron. Nice. This is one of those tracks that really draw you into the atmosphere, and sounds like some kind of slow flamenco of sorts. And I guess that's maybe the influence here, since it's a game from Spain, I guess. But it's just a lovely vibe, I think, overall. It definitely reminds me of Diablo, but I guess many like cues that use this kind of... it's not random strumming, but maybe more loose kind of guitar strumming. It definitely reminds me of the Diablo soundtrack. But a lovely vibe so far. What do you think? It's a very like contemplating with that voice. Maybe it's some kind of a sample, or if it's sung and with some effects on, but it really sounds like contemplating and give more sense of like overall grief. And I guess all these 3 tracks so far has a lot of like grief and sorrow over them. And also that flamenco Spanish flavor. Yeah, what a cool track. Tierras de Azafrán, Lands of Saffron. Mr. Roboto, the main themes of the game could be guilt and penance. The main character is called the Penitent One, and his design is based in Goya painting. Ah, that's really cool. Yeah, I saw that main character with that toppy hat. It's always lovely to see these more exotic designs with characters. And it's also really cool to hear like another kind of region influence, so to speak. This more Spanish flavored influence. I did play some allegros and some other like guitar pieces when I studied music, but I've never played flamenco. Cabarsos, this game felt like every single track added to the atmosphere and tone. It was very good, finished all of it 100%. Nice, congrats! Nice experience for Metroidvania, very Spanish religion influence stuff in it. Blasphemous 2 is the vibe. Is Tota. Welcome, good to have you. Yeah, so we're going to continue with the next track, Q-less. Kelles Campanas Me Doblen. It's very ambient so far. Do you hear how it's building and the bass changing underneath? That makes it very like evocative. It sounds like I can't recall that kind of the horror movie. I don't know if it's 28 Days or something, if that's the right movie, but it reminds me of some of the horror movies or thriller horror zombie movies that I've watched in the past that has this kind of evocative guitar playing and this kind of droning going on. But it's really cool, the contrast, to have that kind of synth drone. Although it has a lot of details in the drone itself, but also that live guitar that adds a lot of like flavor and longevity. Like I always talk about longevity in the tracks, but it makes it much more exciting to listen to real instruments compared to samples. Yeah, definitely a very moody soundtrack. A lot of atmosphere. But if anyone can recall that horror movie that has a similar soundtrack to this, but this specific track, let me know here in the comments. But I think it was 28 Weeks or 28 Days. One of those movies, I think. Que las campanas me doblen. Maybe the bells toll for me. Thanks for sharing the English titles, because I have no idea what this Spanish is all about. I couldn't get past the first one because it was too tedious. Blasted through the sequel though. Yeah, maybe they changed some of the game mechanics to make it a little bit better balanced. Like Silksong. Balanced. Super hard. But it's very satisfying when you beat those harder games and you finally proceed in the regions. You feel like you beat the whole world. It's a great feeling. Don't you think? Yes, this very lamenting, indeed a kind of depression mood overall over this theme. Yeah, 28 weeks later. I need to go and look up that soundtrack after doing this stream, not watching the stream, but after doing this stream I really need to go back, because I think it had a very similar vibe to this, exactly this cue, just with the bass also, the bass and that kind of a drone and the guitar playing. But it's a very good way of like depicting a kind of hopelessness. I think that's the right word for this track. It sounds like a hopeless struggle against the zombies in 28 weeks. Olbo Zone. Someone said this game makes Dark Souls look like a romantic comedy in terms of its depressing atmosphere. Yeah. So far it's been quite filled with grief and depression, hopelessness. Now with that pulse and drive in the bass, it sounds like you're fighting against time. And indeed, a hope, but hopeless struggle. I feel that's the kind of feelings I get from listening to this piece. A hopeless struggle. Yeah, so the hopeless struggle is over for this track. Campanas Me Doblen. Apparently I hid the chat. Nice. Yeah, so we're very contemplating soundtrack so far. Kind of a dark overall tone. Hopeless and dark. And we're going to continue with the next one, Una Senda de Pasos Blancos. De Pasos Blancos. Nachos. Optimus Prime! You know it! Yes, indeed, Hex. We're listening to some Spanish-influenced music. But we got some piano in this one. The Trail of White Steps. Thanks. Right, so this one is also a quite sorrowful theme with that ongoing figure in the piano and again contemplating helplessness here. It seems. At least that's again the feeling that I get from this theme. Hopeless is pretty spot on. Everyone in this land called Cvstodia is at mercy of the miracle. A great power that is no good or evil, but it heavily influences the people for good or bad. Yeah, again, it's a lot of like internal struggle or a hopeless struggle towards something. But I really feel the Spanish flavor in the melody and chords. Sounds like someone is sitting lonely in a room or cell and contemplating on an idea, twisting and turning this tormented idea. Yeah, again, the theme sets a very hopeless atmosphere. And I guess the track doesn't adventure too far out and doesn't go too much into like a B section or something. And I guess that's perfectly suitable for this type of ambient music when you're in the game and you want to like get a continuous vibe going throughout. And many games just use some kind of drone or melodies, but you can still hear it's the same like melodic idea and phrase. So it's very contemplating and, like I said, it sounds like someone sitting alone and thinking about how to break out some sort of hopeless situation and twisting and turning these ideas until they get mad, basically. Knowing the lore of the game always enhances the listening experience. Yeah, I guess so, Lasers, but I guess you can get a lot of the feelings from the lore also by listening to the music. But it sounds very hopeless. Next up, we're going to listen to Gélida Expiración. So this one is called Gélida Expiración. Again, it's a very like a sad, sorrowful ambience or sorrowful vibe in this track. And a quite nice ongoing counterpoint there on the piano. But it sounds also gives this very lonely character when you only have like a solo piano playing. This is from the Graveyard of the Peaks area. Thanks, Cabarsos. Yeah, feel free to share what area the themes are located in, or where you get to hear them in the game. It's definitely a very beautiful theme, but it's very filled with sorrow. So that was the Gélida Expiración. Favorite area within the game, Hex. Awesome. The next track, Entregarás tu rostro a la señora. Right, so this one is a little bit similar to that track we heard earlier with the one I said was like 28 weeks. It has this drone, and you have this contemplating voice and also some guitar playing and also that bass going on, pumping and making the momentum and track propel forward. But I feel this one has more hope. It feels more hopeful. It doesn't have that. It still has some kind of sorrowful character, but it's a little bit more hopeful than the previous one. And I just love this flavor, this mix of sounds. And with that lift in the chord, it also sounds a little bit euphoric in a way. Almost like holy euphoric. Euphoria. Don't you think? I feel it's a very like euphoric feeling from this track now, but still has that, like I said, the week, 28 weeks kind of vibe. Hi there, Elrinth. How are you tonight? How's the game dev going? Mr. Roboto, this boss theme is based on a female character that was so beautiful that people started adoring her, but she thought it was blasphemous to be revered more than the miracle, so she burned her face. Tragic story. Also based on a true story. 28 days later, yeah. But it's one of those films. I remember those like really desolate views of the city, where you don't see any people, you just see like papers lying on the streets and flying around, and it's all empty of people, and it's all desolate, and you hear this theme going on in the background with that pad and the pulsing bass, and yeah, droning on, going good, working on spells for the wizard human. I can't wait. I have to hop on and play with you later after the stream. Yeah, exactly. The Last of Us, they also have this kind of vibe in the game too. Yeah, you have to finish the games, Elrinth. Elrinth is my brother, if you didn't know that. Elrinth here in the chat. That's my brother, all right. And go and check out his channel. And while we're at shouting, doing shouts, need to do a shout out to another soundtrack reviewer. Maybe you heard of him, Marco Meatball. And if you haven't already, go and check out his channel. I'm gonna post a link here. He's making a lot of content around Wuthering Weights at the moment. Yeah, it's a great track. I think this one is absolutely, oops, this one is absolutely my favorite from the soundtrack so far. Need to remember that one. Next we have Vuestra Faz Denegrida. Heck, I can't pronounce these names. Sorry for that, that's just how it is. Yeah, Mr. Roboto, he did a shout on my channel the other day, so I'm shouting back. Most of the stories from Blasphemous are based on folklore from Sevilla and iconography of Goya and Velázquez. Your Blackened Face. Yeah, so we're gonna listen to Your Blackened Face. Matthias, you should also listen to the DLC for this game if you haven't planned on it already. Phenomenal boss tracks in there. Yeah, I think Julia mentioned some tracks from... they are a little bit lower on the playlist. I can post the playlist again if you want to check out what kind of tracks we're checking out today. As always, I don't know if we can cover the whole list here, but at least we're going to listen to a few of the tracks. Because I want to have a little bit of time to talk about what I'm hearing and the emotions in the music and yeah, the passion behind. But I still feel like there's always this Spanish flavor all over all these tracks. But this the past one here was definitely my favorite. Thumbs up. Your Blackened Face. Now we're really starting to get some more beautiful and elaborate tracks, I think. Really love like the holiness. It sounds like some kind of holiness, and also this euphoric kind of feeling in this track too, with that drone. But it's so good that it also changes throughout. It's not just the same droning pulse. We still have some chord changes. I'm trying to pinpoint what kind of instruments we have in the pads, but it seems like it's a layering of kinds with some like pad sounds and maybe some flute, wind instruments. Yeah, so that was Your Blackened Face. Again, I feel that the soundtrack is really growing with this last couple of tracks, and things are really starting to get interesting. Although it's still a quite ambient, kind of a background soundtrack, but I don't think I've heard a similar soundtrack in the game. I can't really pinpoint. I can only pinpoint the movies that had similar soundtracks, and maybe The Last of Us had some similarities. But 28 weeks later. Next track, Cantes de Confesión. To me, this track has a very exotic vibe. Definitely sounds like some kind of flamenco. I heard somewhere that there's around 40 or 50 different variations of flamenco, but I'm not too into that kind of genre. So to me, it's always exotic when I hear flamenco. But it sounds like some kind of slower flamenco style. If anyone knows what kind of style this is, let me know in the chat. And if you're new here tuning in to this live stream, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also if you want, join in and become a member here on the channel and support these reactions. Now this track, I can't help it, but this track takes me back to watching Sorrow back when I was a kid. Anyone watched Sorrow? Sorrow, the TV series. The man with the black mask. And God. But it definitely takes me back to that, and I guess that's the Spanish flamenco vibe. Thanks. Just love that little solo that's happening in the background there. Improvised guitar solo. Yeah, that's one. That one's all sorrow. Zorro. Loved it. Great track. This Cantes de Confesión, Songs of Confession. Again, thanks Roboto for providing the English titles here. Raymond, good to have you aboard the stream, and happy to hear that you enjoy these reaction live events. Yeah, we'll see how much we can cover here tonight. Next up is 10 Piedad. The English title is Back to the Lamentation, to the Levitation. Have mercy. It's very suspenseful. So this is a boss fight. This would be a Saeta in my opinion, maybe a Cuello. But the Cuello normally has a voice in it. I think they are one of the most solemn palos there are. Flamenco styles. Ah, okay. Definitely sounds very suspenseful to me. Like a boss fight. Yeah, what an epic track. The Mercy. I always love it when I get inspired. When it's a good track and I get inspired, I'm gonna pick up an instrument and I'm gonna play along, because that's just how it is. Yeah, cool track, that one. Really wonderful vibe. Palos. So that's the flamenco styles. Mr. Roboto, when you find his boss, it's the same position as the sculpture De Pietà de Mercy by Michelangelo. Aha. Nice lore there. So next we have Arpeggios and Ochre. Ah, sorry. Yeah, I think it's definitely a very evocative track, this, and I really love the guitars and the bass and the pulse. And I wonder if it's like EBO they're using, this electric device that you can use to get the strings to vibrate, so you can get this continuous tone. I wonder if that's they might either use like a synth pad, or they're using the EBO on the guitar. I think that's what they're using here. But it's a very cool guitar solo on this track. A little bit far out there. Ah, okay. Yeah. Quejido would be a shriek, moan, or groan. Many of the melodic lines of the guitar simulating those type of melismatic flamenco vocal lines. It sounds very soaring, contemplating. But it sounds like a kind of EBO, this the pad sound in this track, like an electric guitar with EBO. Or just an electric guitar with tons of distortion. Flamenco solo. This section is beautiful. Definitely that flamenco kind of rhythm. Just love that. It's very evocative, those unpredictable notes, these higher pitched notes that's kind of a bend. They're very cool, like unpredicted flavor, color. Right. Cobarsos, one of my favorites. Yeah, I really like this one too. Next we have El Cuello. How do you say that? Cuello. Cuello. Thanks. Cheers. Yeah, it almost becomes like a physical scream, that pad, that drone, and that you have, that really rustling, gritty kind of drone sound, almost like a scream of sorts. Totally. Queho, ahea, ahoa, he, ahea, ha 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 he, ha ho, ahea, ah ha ha he, ha ho. I'm talking Indian. Let's go. It's actually a little bit sad because I have delay on the video, so I need to delay the sounds of the microphone too. So whenever I play like guitar or try to clap along to a track, you're gonna see it's gonna be like late compared to the actual music. And I haven't figured out how to delay the music also, so I get everything in perfect sync. Because when I get the audio from the piano, it's early, or it's in exact sync with the music. But yeah, so just so that you know, if you wonder why I'm a little bit out of sync when clapping or whatever, singing or whatever. Yeah, I know I've fiddled with the sync in OBS, but it's not since the camera is late. I would also need to delay the music, but then the thing I'm hearing in my ears is it's the non-delayed music. It's just weird to set it up. It's a lot of fiddling. Haven't figured it out yet, but hopefully we'll get to it. But just so you know, it's not that I'm untight, because I'm a drummer. I've been playing drums since I was like 13 years old, so... and played professionally, so... Dramatic. It's like grinding someone to death. Sounds like some kind of a lamenting and a grinding to death. With all these screams from hell. Just love that. Just listen how the guitar comes in. It just comes in just a little bit tad early, but it's perfect. Perfection. It's a statement. Yeah, that's Torment, all right. Planescape Torment. Physical screams. Next up we have a Taranto a la Hermana Mía. Mr. Roboto? You know what to do? So another contemplating dramatic track. There's a lot of drama over the tracks, and a lot of grief, sadness, sorrow. Taranto alla Hermana Mía. Taranto, my sister. Taranto being a flamenco style. Thanks, Mr. Roboto. How many flamenco styles do they use on this soundtrack? Oh, I don't think I mentioned the composer. Carlos Viola is the composer of the Blasphemous soundtrack. Taranto, my sister. Again, a lot of sorrow. I just add a little bit more reverb to that, to the piano. Next up we have El Temple de los Abanicos. The Lost Boys. This is like a pure ambient track. Again, this is sorrowful and like ambient track. Sounds again like something from Diablo, and yeah, seems to be just to feel the like ambience. But overall, it's a very dark soundtrack, the Blasphemous soundtrack. But I guess flamenco and this that type of style has that overall kind of lamentation and sorrow and grief in that style. But it sounds almost like something from Planescape Torment. Again, I'm talking about that game all the time, but I just love the soundtrack from that game. Matt Uelmen, composer. Yeah, this is Tormento, right? I was wrong about the composer for Planescape Torment. That's Mark Morgan. I forgot about that, but I listened to that soundtrack all the time in a few years back. It was just a superb soundtrack from that area around 2000. Matt Uelmen, that's Diablo 2, I think. Yeah, so what do you think about the soundtrack so far? I guess many of you have already played the game and heard the soundtrack plenty of times, but... But this is Torment. Nigel T, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for joining in. Always good to be able to tickle the zombie. And let's end this ambient theme with some flamenco solo. El Temple de los Abanicos. Next, Coplas de Incienso. Coplas de Incienso by Carlos Viola. Man, another really great track. I didn't expect this one after the previous just ambient, atmospheric track. Just love this one so far. What a drive! Man, it's really propelling forward. And it also has more hope compared to the grief and sadness and sorrow in many of the other tracks. Another track with a little bit more hope. It's just beautiful. It sounds like we're giving this hope, and then we have two chords that draws us back to the sadness. Try to pull us back into the sadness and grief, but overall it's lifting us up. Coplas de Incienso, big thumbs up. Verses of Incense, lovely track. Just love the vibe in that one, and it's almost like the feeling you get in the Silksong tracks when you have this beautiful setting, and then suddenly Christopher Larkin, the composer of Silksong, make this little twist in the music. It's just Bywater, anyone, the perfect track. And choral chambers. Next up we have Entre Bordados. It sounds like a doom track. The genre doom. A little bit. So it's a boss track. Entre Bordados. Between the embroidery. The boss is based on actual exhumed Christian corpses from Roman tombs. Adorned with jewels, gold, and displayed as religious relics. Yeah, what kind? Yeah, some really cool lore in Blasphemous. Uh-oh, we got the bell. Actually, anyone listen to the band My Dying Bride or Anathema? I was a big fan of those bands back in the early 90s. Listened to a lot of the My Dying Bride early albums and also Anathema. And this track definitely takes me straight back to that period in the early 90s, maybe 92, 93 something, when I was listening to the early My Dying Bride albums. I mean, it's this kind of doom metal kind of style with gothic influences and a romantic influence in the music. But it's really cool to get those like nostalgic flashbacks. Just love that when I listen to a different kind of music, that you can get really far back in the memories and recall other bands, and yeah, just lovely. So although it's a quite, it might be seem like a simple track with this just a lamentation or constant pounding, but it's a boss, so why not? But yeah, a lot of memories. But it's a really cool experiencing this soundtrack from Blasphemous, because it's never something that I've bumped into when playing games before. First time hearing this kind of music in a game setting, I think. You're gonna love them, Julia. Yes, that was Entre Bordados. And like I'm saying here in the chat, definitely if you like this kind of style, check out My Dying Bride, the band My Dying Bride, and also the band Anathema. And I gave some tips here on what albums to check out. My Dying Bride, Turn Loose the Swans album. And also from Anathema you can check out, I think it's called Eternity. And what was it? Silent Enigma. I think that's the favorites. But there's also an older album if you want more of the metal style or the death metal. The doom metal. Also check out Serenades. Big influence on my own music with my previous band, or my band Embracing, which you also can check out on streaming platforms. Typing. Yeah, there you have some tips on music to check out. Gonna check out the next track, Prohibidos i Cubiertos de polvo? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Sorry for my Spanish, again. But we're not here to fiddle with linguistics. Now this is different. Prohibited and covered in dust. Thanks. Very dramatic. Love this. I can totally understand after listening to these like 10 or what is it? 8-10 tracks that we've been listening to so far from the soundtrack. I can totally understand that people has fallen in love with the soundtrack of Blasphemous, because it's a very cohesive experience, I think. A very cohesive soundtrack. You always have those Ebo drones or lamenting, tormented drones. And then you have that bass, that flamenco bass, with the almost, you have the same kind of rhythmic pulse. In most of the tracks, which is that flamenco vibe. So I can definitely, I totally understand why they made this new vinyl release. I think it's out on Laced Records, this 4 LP box set with the songs from Blasphemous. Is it from both games on the vinyl, or is it just the first Blasphemous? If it's in 4 LP box, there must be a lot of songs on that one. But you rarely see like 4 LP releases on vinyls. It's usually like maybe a double LP, but I've rarely seen 4. So that's kind of cool. But I totally get it that they decided to release it on vinyl, because it's very cool experience. Flamenco darkness. Sounds like a church organ also in the mix. Very nice breath character. Pasos displays in the library of negated words, a late game dark and scholarly area filled with ruined books and shelves. It is often described as having a dark academia feel. Yeah, I can picture that. This music in that area. That was Prohibidados y cubiertos de polvo, prohibited and covered in dust. I'll take the English titles instead. Next we have another obscure Spanish title, Para un mártir del compás, by Carlos Viola. Yeah, thanks for sharing the titles for a Martyr of the Beasts. Is this also a boss? Or where do we hear this music in the game? Mr. Roboto, thanks for sharing the context there. This can be a play on words, since compass can be mean a beat or compass, and this plays on the level. The sleeping canvases. Yes, as I mentioned here in the chat, please let me know your favorite tracks after this track in the playlist. I posted a playlist here in the chat because I'm starting to get a little bit hungry, and we can't play all the tracks from the soundtrack because it's so many tracks and many of them are quite long. So please let me know here in the chat your 2, 3, 4 favorite tracks below this Del Compass track. And we'll see which of the tracks that we get to play here. So just shoot, guys. The drama is real. Nice, we got a few suggestions there, but yeah, quite cool flamenco track, that one. And as I mentioned, I totally understand the vibe and hype around this soundtrack and why they released this on vinyl. Would be quite cool to put this on the vinyl player in the background while you have dinner or something. Get the sorrow vibe going. Okay, so we have some track suggestions here. Julia, Su Beso de Plata. Yeah, that's quite close to this one. I'm gonna begin with that one. Again, if we have new people in here, don't forget to subscribe, because when you subscribe, there's gonna be a zombie on screen, and I can tickle the zombie. We want more zombies, so make sure to subscribe, so we can hit 100k subs on the channel anytime. We need more subs on the channel. Tell your friends about this reaction channel. We're listening to gaming music. Today we're going into Blasphemous OST, this Spanish flamenco flavored soundtrack from the Souls Metroidvania, Blasphemous. So next up, Su Beso de Plata. Thanks again, Mr. Roboto, for sharing context and the English titles. So, Beso de Plata is apparently her kiss of silver. And I actually love the English titles of the tracks, because sometimes in games the track names can be quite like meh. And here I feel they all have seems to have some kind of deeper meaning, and actually all have cool names. So that's always a good thing, I think. I try to do that myself when I create music and songs. Try to find a meaning and a good wording for the title. And sometimes even a title can give you inspiration for the rest of the song. That's really cool. Beso de Plata. Here's her kiss of silver. And again, I think this track also reminds me of the English metal band My Dying Bride. I feel that's like the melodies and that tremolo guitar. But then it's gonna be distorted metal guitars. But it definitely gives me that My Dying Bride feeling. So if you like this soundtrack, check out My Dying Bride and Anathema. I think it's going to be right up your alley. Right, we had some other recommendations. Cantes de los Muertos. Let's see if I can find a track. I'm looking in the playlists. There we have it. Is that from some kind of DLC? I don't think it's in the main, among the main soundtracks. Wounds of Eventide. So this is the same kind of tormenting vibe and all this grief and longing, maybe longing and sadness. That's the vibe I get from this. And again, the original tracks from the base game, so to speak, of Blasphemous, it all has this cohesive sound space. And there are actually some sounds in this also that ties it together with the main soundtrack, but here we have more organ, which is suddenly sounds a little bit exotic and different compared to the original soundtrack to Blasphemous. Vega, hi there. Yeah, I was saying, right up your beep. Song of the Dead Ones. And now there's some even more tormenting sounds and these scratches that's introduced. Indeed, Mr. Roboto, I always loved the use of the organ out of the divine context. Hearing it in dark themes make it so twisted and disturbing. Yeah, I feel the same. Because it's an organ obviously connected with church and divinity and holiness. But Castlevania... Anyone know of the game? Name the game and you win a bike. Yes, sorry. Yeah, but just love organ in the soundtracks, especially when it's like Dracula and... William, hi there. If you will react to the Last Faith game, it's a beautiful music. Vampire Killer is amazing. Peak video game music. Yeah, this is the best theme ever. Eldrinth. I knew you were around. That's why I played Castlevania. Glazer, speaking of metal, I suggest a listen to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. OST composed by legendary Mick Gordon. Hopefully on a future stream. Yeah, I plan on doing that, Lasers. And yeah, just love that. Again, I think I talked about that in a previous stream. The use of like a pure sine wave and some noise for the sound design, and then throw that through like a bunch of different distortion pedals and saturators. I actually tried that myself, and I'll see if I can find a track somewhere on my disc. But I did like a similar track to the Doom soundtrack. It's really balls to the walls. It's really heavy stuff. But like the inspirations from Meshuggah and using a chainsaw as the guitars, it's just insane. Yeah, I love that soundtrack. We're gonna do Doom, definitely. Elrinth, you play everything with your band. That's awesome. That's my brother, right there. Check out his YouTube channel. He reviews really old retro games, and he has the biggest game collection ever. Let's continue listening. It's really, really lamenting and tormenting with these female voices that sounds like someone's just over the top with pain. And it's actually like a more towards epic kind of the epic music kind of genre, I guess, than the flamenco stuff we heard earlier. They're almost like ghostly voices from another world, souls trying to grasp themselves into the reality. It's like over the top dramatic with the brass section and everything. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about like playing Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. And I actually feel that this specific track, it would fit right in to Dark Souls or like Bloodborne or yeah, any of those kind of Souls game. Because it's such a like cinematic, epic atmosphere in this track. Yes, that was Cantes de los Muertos. And no, this is not a Souls game, Vega. This is like a Metroidvania or Souls Metroidvania game. It's not a typical Souls game. But yeah, earlier I was playing an old Castlevania theme, Vampire Killer, on the piano. Next up, we're gonna listen to Luto y Estrago. And I'm gonna go check up on my son here for a sec. Be right back. Andalusian. Luto y Estrago. Morning and ruin. Morning. Not as a morning or evening, but morning as mournful. Morning and ruin. Most of the whole setting along the music is heavily inspired in the history of Spain. Most specifically the whole religious part. Zachary Kruger. Yeah, thank you all for sharing some lore along the listening experience here. Next up, I'm looking for the track Strife and Ruin of Voyage. Where is the track? Or is there a Spanish name for that track? Voyage of Promise. I think someone mentioned Hermana Mía earlier. Vega, I am patrons not compatible. Too bad you have it all there. You can always become a member here on the YouTube channel, Vega. I think that's probably the easiest. So for those of you who want to join in and support these live streams and the reaction show and the work I do here, you can always join in as a YouTube member. There's a membership button below here. And while we're at it, if you do see the hype button, there's a new thing on YouTube. You can hype videos. Just press that one. It doesn't cost you anything to press hype. But it apparently helps the videos to surface and reach through the noise of YouTube, which is super hard. If you play, you should play it in Spanish. The English dub is cool and pretty good, but the original language of the game is Chef Kiss. Thanks, Vega. Happy to hear you join. Follow Vega. Join in on my channel. Thanks. Hermana Mía. Just a lovely passage there, and definitely feel there like religious power in this track and the divinity almost. And it seems like the addition here, or more pronounced organ use in the Wounds of Eventide. I wonder if you know the reason why there's more organ. It's a lot more pronounced in the soundtrack of Wounds of Eventide, or this like Blasphemous DLC. Vega, thanks for joining in. I'll tickle your zombie. Thanks for joining in. Superb. And there's always the super chat if you want to support the streams. Super chat. Along with that, most of the songs are tied to different areas of the game, but also to the bosses and their story. This one is a good example of that. Well, it's really cool to hear how they differ, the original soundtrack and this one. It seems like most of the tracks here make use of the religious organ and make it take much more space. Not so much of the flamenco guitars. The wonderful choral track, Hermana Mía, Sister of Mine. Again, thanks for providing the English titles, Mr. Roboto. Mr. Roboto. I'm just thinking about Roboto from He-Man Masters of the Universe. They released a trailer the other day. And I'm gonna do a reaction on that one. I just have to do that because I grew up to Masters of the Universe and He-Man figures during the early 80s. So it's just a must. I'm gonna do a reaction to that one. And speaking of which, today I did a reaction to the new Fable trailer. Some of you might know that they're gonna release a new Fable game for the PS5. I have no idea if it's gonna be out for PC. It seems like it's gonna be a Sony exclusive. I have no idea. Yeah, thanks for joining in, Vega. Will William, thanks for the sub. Hope you had a nice time here in the stream tonight. Can you check out Blasphemous OST Strife and Ruin? I'm trying to find that one, Hex. I knew you wished for that one previously, but I'm just trying to find the track. Is it from the original or is it from the Wounds of Eventide? Yeah, it's hilarious, lasers. How did it go from Xbox? I remember, like, was it the original Xbox, Fable 1? But I played them all. I played Fable 1, Fable 2, Fable 3. But I think that Fable 3 really, yeah, it got really strange. They really overdid the Chicken Chaser. The whole like cinematics was always around the chicken, and then it was this like flirting thing, and then they made that into the whole gaming experience. But a lot of sweet adventuring in the earlier Fable 1 and 2. From Xbox to Sony. Yeah, that's what happens when they buy each other. Blasphemous OST, Strife of Ruin, Voyage of Promise. Is this like a cover? I feel the flamenco vibes. The happiest track of today. This almost sounds like some kind of remix or something. Definitely a more like passionate, Spanish passionate vibe rather than the Spanish grief vibe. What? Oh my god, that's the wrong track. Somehow I got signed out. What? I have no idea what happened. Yeah, this is a Spanish adventure, all right. Da ba dum bum, da da dum. Oh, oh. Yeah, what a lovely little adventure we got there with the strings. But I really love this track. It has a lot of passion and flavor. And again, I'm really sorry for the sync, because I would love to play along to this track with the guitar, but it's just going to be a little bit out of sync. But I really need to fix that in OBS in here. But I know what the problem is. The problem is that the keyboard is always going to be early, and I can't put that late because that's gonna ruin my listening experience. So the best thing to do would be to fix some kind of I guess HDMI switch or something that doesn't delay, because the signal, the video signal, is delayed somehow by, I'm using this, it's called Camlink 4K to capture the video from the Sony camera that I'm using right there. But I wonder if it's the Camlink or it's the HDMI switch that I'm using. It's a really old HDMI switch. I guess that's the one that's delaying the video signal. Because I'd love to have like real-time video signal so I could play along and have great timing. But cool track. You're preparing for the finals, Tarnished. Awesome. The Threshing one. So you're not playing Dark Souls tonight. Or Bloodborne. Thanks for joining in. There's a very cozy vibe in this track, so thanks for recommending it. It doesn't sound anything like like the previous soundtrack to Blasphemous. It sounds like a remix. It's just so passionate, filled with love. What a lovely, lovely song. Thanks for recommending that one. Right, so thanks for joining in on this Blasphemous OST reaction event. And as always, had a good time. What quite a cool different experience, because I never heard a soundtrack sounding as the soundtrack of Blasphemous. A very dark experience, I think, and very sorrowful. A lot of grief and tormented souls. And that's why I'm ending this stream with a little bit more brightness. So you all can go to sleep without feeling pain and sorrow. Yeah, thanks for joining in, Cobarsos. Mr. Roboto, thanks for providing the English titles for the tracks. Tarnished, Elrinth, Hex, Julia. Everybody's joining in here. Glazers, thanks a lot. And all the new subscriber, Willie Williams. And yeah. Yeah, you need that guitar. It's a Seagull. Really love the tone in this one. Maybe we'll do a stream and talk a little bit more about this one. It has a built-in microphone, but as you can see, I need to connect this little wire to get rid of the grounding issues. And there's actually a lot of like scrapes and dents and stuff in this beautiful guitar. I actually threw my own keys on the guitar at one point. Accidentally, of course. Not by... Yeah. It's not perfectly tuned, but that'll do for tonight. Yeah, again, thanks for joining in. See you in the next live stream. I hope to be able to do another live stream tomorrow. I said we were going to do Monster Hunter Worlds tomorrow, but I'll see if I manage to do that one, or we're gonna do it on Sunday. We'll see what happens. But I do have this Fable trailer, Fable gameplay trailer reaction video coming up, so I'll probably have something for you tomorrow anyway. So, and we'll see if there's some Dark Souls 3 streaming, or Blood Souls, or a Silk Song. I'm really eager to get back into it, but I'm really hungry now, so I'm gonna grab a sandwich first. Thanks again for joining in. See you in the next live. Bye. And remember, you're the best. Bye. Keep crushing, guys. And girls.